Shalom, shalom, Yeshua. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessing be unto your households. It's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch, and in this quick lesson, we're just going to get into pretty much as always the reason why the Lord got you in the predicament that you are in. Pretty much. Lesson inspired by recent class that the elders and officer had yesterday. Going into basically, figuring out what the Lord is pretty much wanting for you, or what the Lord is trying to teach you in whatever situation you're put in, man. It's something that, I have to meditate on myself. Like, why am I in the situation that I'm in? What is the Lord trying to teach me? What he's trying to tell me? Whatever it may be. And sometimes, you might just be suffering just for your past sins. But it doesn't hurt to ask Yahweh Bashem Shah to reveal onto you why, like, what are you trying to teach me? Why, there's nothing wrong with asking the Lord that, because if you find out what he's trying to teach you, then guess what? Okay, now you can really be in the mindset of like trying to, okay. Now you can really be working on it. And then before you know it, you're not in that predicament no more. I'm going to go ahead and get this because we're going to be in Hebrews 12. And it says a father's discipline. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. So whoever the Yahweh Bashem shall love, he's going to be chastening, a.k.a. disciplining, building up. Them are the ones that the Lord is going to be, putting, that hell on pretty much. In other words. Verse 7 says, if ye endure chastening, which is, disciplinary correction, right? Oh, matter of fact, let me see what it says now. I don't know if it's changed because, Blue Letter like to change shit. Let me see what it says, chastening. Ooh. Yeah, disciplinary. This is Strong's G, 3809. Pahadia. And it says education or training. By implication, disciplinary correction, instruction. So yeah, disciplinary correction, one of them, but it said training. Lord is training us, educating us by implication, man. Basically putting us in predicaments to where you have to apply the wisdom and knowledge that you've gained from being in this truth in your day-to-day lives. So he's training us by putting us in situations where we have to implement what you've been learning, right? Sometimes Lord will put you in situations just to show you where you weak at and where you need to improve it. However the Lord got to say it. And the thing is, you can't despise. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that. Despise not the chastening of the Lord. Oops. This Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 11 says, my son, despise not the chastening, the training, the education, the disciplinary correction of Yahweh Bashem Shah, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father to a son in whom he delighteth. Right? So you don't despise the chastening of the Lord because it's for you. The Lord ain't chastening us, putting us in these certain situations where we got to learn, or sometimes you just got to endure it for a time. Just because, bro, it's for our betterment. And on top of that, we can't sit here and act like we don't deserve the shit we go through. We really deserve worse. The Lord could always make it 10 times worse if he wants to. Don't forget about that. But back in Hebrews chapter 12, and I'm at verse 7, says, if ye endure chastening, so if you endure whatever hell the Lord will put you through to build you up, the Most High deal with you as with sons, for what son is whom the Father chasteneth not. So, in other words, the Lord is putting hell on you, and you gotta make something shake, right? What you gonna? Lord testing you, putting you in situations where like, okay, you trusting you, how about your own shot? There, like you. Then the Lord, and you enduring those things, and actually learning and growing, then the Lord is dealing with you. Simple as that. The Lord put us through the hell, not because he's not dealing with us, but because he is. And he saw fit that you must go through this for salvation. That's why you shouldn't despise it, because the Lord, he only puts you through it because he knows it's needed for you for salvation, no matter how tough it may seem. Right? You might be stressed out just through, but like, guess what? You need it. You have to come to acceptance like, man, it is what it is. You just pray the Lord to give you strength to endure it, but also to learn from it. Because Lord, he'll put you in a situation and you just getting fucked up. But like, it's also a learning thing that comes with it. Pray to the Lord. Like, what are you trying to teach me exactly? Because, you don't always really know what the Lord is trying to teach you. But when you do, man, you can look at the hell with a whole different mindset. You're like, what a lethal shooter say? I understand it now. Man. So, continuing on, Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 8 says, but if ye be without chastisement, which is ye 2/3 in the world, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily, I'm at verse 10, by the way. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 10 says, For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. So the whole reason why we get chastised by Yahweh, by Shah, get corrected, getting trained up, getting educated, right? The whole reason is for us. It's not because like, oh man, the Lord has to do it in order for his power to really work or some shit. Hell no, bro. It's literally for us. It's for us pertaining to salvation. That's why it's so important not to despise it. Easier said than done. Don't get me wrong, easier said than done, because when you're in the midst of it, man, boy, it hurts. And I know it's going to go into that too. But yeah, the Lord, he does it for our profit. Like I said, no matter how hard it may seem, man, the Lord doing it because he's seen that if I don't, this will happen. If I don't, he won't be ready for this. That's why I try to keep in mind, man, there's a reason for everything the Lord does, and it's for your benefit if you're one of his. We just pray and hope we are one of his, though. Back in Hebrews chapter 12 and now verse 11, it says right here, it says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous but grievous. So, bro, when you going through it at that moment, you're not finna be all smiley, all dilly-willy about it, right? Happy-go-lucky charmer, you ain't finna be like that, man. You're not gonna be happy. You're gonna be, you're gonna be more on the upset side, right? But it is a mindset thing. You gotta really look at like, man, what the Lord is like doing. Like, why is he doing this? As well as like, what is he trying to teach you in the midst of all of that you're going through, right? Because the Lord, he doesn't do anything for no reason. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. Even for myself, man, he doesn't do it like whatever the hell he put on you is not for no reason. Can it be for your past sins? Yes. But you shouldn't be so quick to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going through it because, more than likely my past sins. No, bro. Ask the Lord, What are you trying to? What he's trying to teach you? What do you want him to gain from this situation? What you want him to learn? Because as Elder Ariala said from our camp, man, he said the Lord will have you in a situation for years until you get it. I'm like, damn. I mean, the years ain't nothing. Years ain't nothing to the Lord. For us, that's like, whoa, for real. It ain't nothing. It's like seconds for him, milliseconds for him. So it's like, all right, now, let him know when you get it. So don't be so quick to be like, oh Lord, just take the hell off me. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Of course, we don't want to go through it, but it's always a reason. It's a reason to ask the Lord, like, what you want me to gain from this. Oh, you need to be with the brothers more. Oh, you need to trust in him more. Oh, you need to make sure you need to run to him more when you are put in these situations. Well, whatever it may be, man, that's your job to ask the Lord that. Because nobody else is going to ask it for you. The only thing we can do is pray for you, which is it avails much. But, as scripture said, let every man be persuaded in his own mind. You got to want it for yourself, ultimately. But back in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11 says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Boom. So it's not joyous, it's grievous. It doesn't feel good, but afterwards, if you actually learn from it and grow from it and endure what you had to go through, ain't nothing comes out of it but pure growth. Now you're able to produce more fruit for Yahweh Shem Shah, man. Now you don't became more of an asset to the Lord. You're a vessel that's able to be used more for Yahweh Shem Shah after the hell, which is that fire that the Lord got to put on you. So yeah, man, just keep that in mind, and I'm ending it off with this. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh B'Shem Shah, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So understand that all things are going to work good ultimately for the elect. As I said, for them that love Yahweh Shem Shah. If you claim that you love Yahweh Shem Shah and it shows in your works, guess what? The good things that the Lord sends you, the bad, the chastening, the bad the Lord sends your way, man, it's all working good for you. Just keep that in mind, man. And something I got to keep in mind for myself as well. But anyways, Lord willing, y'all was edified. I want to end it off by saying, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharallah.